Hey everybody, Stacy here with the Bargain Bandit. This is episode number 23 and today's date is November 13th, 2012. If you're just joining me for the very first time, in this show I talk about items that I have acquired at various locations like yard sales, thrift stores, and that sort of thing. And I sell them primarily on eBay. And so I talk about items, the kind of profit I'm making on them, the kind of things that I pick up. When I have an occasional great pickup, I talk about that as well. I also show off items that I've picked up recently, and I also have a new feature at the end of the show that I call the shout out, where I shout out a fellow YouTuber that I watch and I learn from. So stay tuned at the end of the show to find out who this week's shout out was. If you are somebody who normally tunes into our daily broadcast, the Gal Picker Show for sale with Tracy and Stacy, you'll notice we kind of missed today being Tuesday. Tracy is a little under the weather. And so she wasn't able to do the show today. Me and her are going to probably brainstorm about what happens when one of us can't show up. Maybe we have like a guest fill-in or something when things like that happen, so that the show must go on. We'll see. So sorry that we didn't have a daily show today. We should return tomorrow. And thank you for supporting us, and thank you for supporting me by watching this show. Several weeks ago, on the advice of the Bonafide Hustlers channel, I picked up some bike jerseys. They were short-sleeved ones, not long-sleeved ones like he suggested, but they still turned out to be great wins. The woman had 3 jerseys. She wanted $1 for 2 of them a piece, and then $2 for one that still had the tags on. And I've sold 2 of the 3 jerseys, and the one that I did sell, the first one I'm going to talk about, is kind of an interesting one because it is a livestrong.org Unite jersey, which is Lance Armstrong's charity he recently resigned from. So when I noticed it and my husband pointed it out, I'm like, oh great, it's not going to be worth anything. And it actually ended up being the most valuable of the bunch. And I did only pay $1 for this one. So it's kind of interesting. I put it up at auction. I had several people bidding on it. I didn't get as much as maybe I would have had I not ended the auction on election night. Yeah, that was a complete oversight on my part because everyone was watching CNN and not, my auctions. So I might have gotten more money out of it had I ended it on a different day. But still, I did really well on it considering I only paid $1 for it. The other bike jersey I sold was the one that was new with the tags. I paid $2 for that one, and I actually did this one as a fixed price because there wasn't anything particularly special about it. It said Giant Bicycle Club on it. There was no reason why it would have a tremendous amount of demand, so I just did it as a fixed price, and I still did okay on it. A couple of the items that I'm going over and several items that I sold this past week went to international destinations. So if you're not doing international shipping, you are shooting yourself in the foot. So the game that I sold to somebody in Spain is a game called Dread Pirate. And it was, a neat game. It came in a wooden crate. It was highly well done, like very well done. It had like metal pieces, wooden pieces, felt pieces, everything in there screamed quality. I had it listed for $24.99, and somebody paid me $50 to ship it to them in Spain on top of that. So it was a good deal. And if somebody really wants it overseas, and a lot of these games are difficult to come by overseas, they pay the extra money in shipping because they just really want to get the game. And so I'm really glad that I do offer international shipping, and you should too. In another first this week, I shipped to an APO address for the very first time. And APO addresses are typically military destinations, so somebody who is in the military or military affiliated bought my Tequila Patron playing cards with the poker chips. I had like a complete set with like 40 poker chips and a sealed deck of cards. Nice little set, not worth a tremendous amount of money, but I did pretty good on it. This next item just demonstrates patience because a lot of my items are things that are going to sit for a while before the right buyer comes along, which is why I do fixed price for most of my board games, because board games do not have a tremendous demand. You're just waiting for that one person to come along who wants to buy your item. And so I sold Twister Dance DVD. It had 4 dance pads and a DVD with it. That was essentially the entire game. The box was in good condition. The game was in great condition. Doesn't look like it had been played much. And it wasn't a tremendously valuable item either, but since it only cost me 5 cents for every 30 days, I'm not really losing anything by keeping something listed up on eBay, which is what I do. So this item I think has been up there about 3 months now and finally did find a buyer. So it's patience, and if you're dealing in board games or things that maybe don't have a tremendous demand, is really vital if you're going to be in this kind of business. If you're just going out there for the quick scores, don't buy board games unless they're extremely rare, extremely valuable, or brand new. I sold my Christmas stocking cross-stitch kit, and I made an okay profit on it. If you'll recall, I paid $5 for it. I probably shouldn't have paid as much as I did, but I really just wanted to try and sell a cross-stitch kit. And they're actually pretty easy sells, so I wasn't too worried about it. And it being a Christmas stocking, it's the right time of year. What I found interesting about the person who bought this is somebody who sells cross-stitch kits. And that's all they do. They just sell cross-stitch kits, and they buy cross-stitch kits. All of their eBay feedback is related to that. And so I was wondering if perhaps I undercharged the price of this item because they were willing to pay me my price plus the shipping cost to get to them. So I'm wondering if maybe they know something that I don't about cross-stitch kits and I just really let it go for too little. So I guess I'll be keeping an eye on them. Saving the best for last, I recently got a Game & Watch manhole game from Nintendo from 1983 in the original packaging. The game itself looks like it had hardly been touched. It was in mint condition. The box had a little bit of tape damage or creasing on one corner, normal wear on the box, but it looked, otherwise in great condition. And so I recently put that up at auction. I did a 7-day auction. It ended Sunday night. And this is another scenario where you really have to allow international buyers, because if I didn't allow international buyers, of my 8 or 9 bidders that I had on this item, only one was in the US. The rest of them were in Australia or Switzerland. So you really have to allow international bidders to maximize your profits. And I kind of saw this demonstrated when I was doing research trying to figure out what to price this item at. I saw some going for $50, $60, $100, even with the box. And I think it was partially because some of those people were not allowing international buyers to bid on their item. And since I did sell it, and I sold it for $305 to somebody in Australia. So, yeah, that's a huge profit, quarter to $305. I did buy the battery, so you got to add that in. But, in general, it was a huge, 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 huge profit for me. It's the best item I've picked and the best profit I've had to date. So it's kind of a big deal to, if I hadn't allowed international buyers, I may not have gotten anywhere near that amount of money. Now, I know a lot of people are a little afraid of international shipping because they hear horror stories, but there are just as many horror stories in, domestic shipping as well. And I personally have shipped quite a bit overseas, and to date, knock on wood, I've never had a problem. I am a little nervous about shipping this Game & Watch to someone overseas. I would be nervous no matter what, because I really hope that they get the item and it surpasses their expectations. I really do try to manage expectations in my descriptions and using my pictures, so I really hope that I did well on this item in managing the expectations, although it is kind of a phenomenal item. They should be really happy with it, but I can't help but be a little nervous until they get it in their hand and say, yay, I love it, because it's a lot of money we're talking about in this scenario. So, but anyway, that is going out today because, the holiday and everything delayed us. And, hopefully this time next week they'll have it already. But yeah, this is definitely my biggest win so far. And I'm really happy and excited. And it goes to show, you never know what you're going to find at that next sale. It could be a Game & Watch manhole game. Since I didn't go out picking this weekend, I actually don't have a top 3 favorite finds. So instead of that, I'm going to do a top 3 board games you should be on the lookout for. Number 1 is a game called World of Warcraft, the board game. And it's about yay long. It's a big game, pretty heavy, got a lot of weight to it. I think it's about 10 or 11 pounds to ship it. That's how much weight there is to it. But if it is in good condition, the box is in really good condition, all the pieces are there, and there are a lot of pieces, so it's going to take you some time to make sure everything's there. That game can be worth anywhere from $100 to $120. If it has any box damage to it, $60 to $80. If you know that's about the price you're going to get if there's any damage to it, and if there's missing pieces, the price goes down from there. So you want to make sure all the pieces are there. So don't be afraid to pop down $20 or $30 on a really good copy of World of Warcraft, the board game, not the adventure game. That one is not worth as much. It's a little square box. The adventure game is, but the board game is still worth quite a bit of money. So go ahead and pick that one up. My number two is a game called Fireball Island. It was released in 1986, and it's just a fun 3D game that came out. A lot of people really liked it, but it had a limited release, and not that many copies of it actually exist. That game, you're going to get anywhere from $150 to $200 for it, depending on condition. So definitely be on the lookout for Fireball Island. It is a holy grail for a lot of people. I personally have never been able to find a copy of it, but if you do, snatch that baby up. Number 3, and my number 3 one is actually one of the most valuable role-playing type board games there is in existence. It is a game called Dark Tower, and it was an electronic game that was released by Milton Bradley in 1981, and another game that I have not been able to find, but I keep my eye on the lookout, keep hoping. These complete and in good condition. The boxes don't even have to be in great condition because of the age, but just good condition. Go anywhere from $300 to $400. A mint copy of that could go for as much as $1,000. So that is a Dark Tower, Fireball Island, World of Warcraft, the board game, and Progression. Some very valuable board games out there, and there are many more than that. But those are 3 I wanted to highlight, and 3 games that I am always on the lookout for. And if I can ever find them, I will be buying them no matter what the price. Unless it's the price I can get for it, then I won't buy it. So my shout out this week is somebody who actually hasn't done any new videos recently because she's recovering from Hurricane Sandy, and our thoughts are with her. But nonetheless, her older videos are definitely well worth a watch if you haven't done it yet. And that is Heather from the Paper Castle. She originally started on YouTube as a crafting type of person where she would show some crafting videos, hence the name The Paper Castle. But she has shifted into showing off items that she buys at thrift stores and yard sales and sells on eBay. And I have learned so much from this woman. I learned about vintage Bibles. I learned more about coffee mugs. I learned about cross-stitch kits and so many more things. Ties. I wasn't even looking at ties before I saw that she picked them up, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I should try ties. Although I have yet to sell one, I'm hopeful that I will, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, she's a wonderful person, and I love learning from her and hearing from her. And I hope that she puts up a new video soon, and I hope that everything is going well in the recovery after Hurricane Sandy. You know, she lives I think in New Jersey, so she was definitely right in the line of the storm there. That's my shout out for this week. Thank you, Heather, Paper Castle. And there will be a link somewhere on the screen for her as I was talking about her. So that is the end of the Bargain Bandit this week, and I hope you enjoyed my episode. If you did enjoy it, please like this bad boy. And if you like my videos in general, please subscribe because I love subscribers. I have a contest that is active right now, and the link to the contest is going to go right here. Boo, boo. I don't know if it's going to flash, probably not, but there will be a link to the contest. I have a grab bag of items. I have one that's like a novelty grab bag, and the other one is like some more serious types of items that I picked up. None of this stuff has ever been tried. I have never tried to sell any of the stuff that I'm giving out. Like I said, I have over 1,000 items that I have not even tried to sell. I did try to keep the shipping down, although I did include a hardcover book, and I may be shipping that separately from the other items in the package to the winner of that because of media mail prices versus non-media mail prices. But regardless, you know, I've got some really neat items in both of the little things. I'm going to be drawing the winner on December 1st. All you have to do to enter is go to the link on this, of this video, and just say I want to be in the contest. On December 1st, I will be putting everybody's names into a random generator and drawing 2 winners out of the random generator, and those 2 people will receive my prize packages. So go enter my contest, like, subscribe, comment, questions, all that bad boy stuff. You know, come on. Bring it on. Join us tomorrow. Hopefully we will be having our daily show with Tracy. And if not, I think I will still show up and say, hi, everyone. We're not having a daily show today, just so people aren't left in the dark like they were today. I apologize for that. And so join us tomorrow for the Gal Picker Show for sale with Tracy and Stacy. And see you next Tuesday with my next Bargain Bandit. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I love you. Bye.